How important is integration of security, especially cyber, in this growing era?
It is very, very crucial, the era that we are in. And then when you take Global Sky, for instance, this year, what we actually wanted to do was to go more into cybersecurity, AI, and robotics.
Is this something you would have changed if you have the opportunity to turn the hand of clock from the time you started?
Yes, I think, and I know my family members, when they listen to this, would just kill me.
Hello there, welcome to The Entrepreneur, where we uncover the secrets behind the inspiring stories and successes of entrepreneurs. I am Esther Educhumwa, your host. Thanks to Joyce Lab Wigs and Beauty Avenue for my beautiful makeup, and my hair was sponsored by Samuel Wigs and Makeup. This show is brought to you by Alpha Park Natural Mineral Water and Sanji Global, and my beautiful outfit is by Leonards Unisex Boutique. As technology advances, the world is faced with unprecedented challenges in our security. From cyber threats to sophisticated physical intrusions, the stakes has never been higher, and the need for innovative security solutions has never been that urgent like now. But amidst the uncertainties, there is a beacon of hope. Someone and an organization that is changing how security is managed and delivered. Stay tuned to listen more about this wonderful story on The Entrepreneur after this quick break. I'll be right back.
Get inspired daily as Lady Counselor Mavis A takes us through life-changing quotes from God's servant, Pastor Ajimai Elvis. This would set your life on course every day.
The question is, will you as a husband beat yourself? Will you abuse yourself? Will you hurt yourself? Why will you do that to your wife? You can be in a relationship and you will still feel lonely. This can cause you to have many best friends, many besties around you, thinking they can be the answer to your loneliness. What you fear will rule over you and probably destroy you, even if God has said otherwise. In fact, the person who will annoy you the most is the one you love. Those that wish you dead, destroyed, unemployed, bitter, abnormal, poor, unmarried, they will see you better, blessed, and flourishing in Jesus' name.
Experience the Word of God concerning your marriage, destiny, and your daily life in an exciting and interactive session with Lady Counselor Mavis A on Daily Capsule.
You are welcome back from that quick break. This show is proudly brought to us by Alpha Park Natural Mineral Water and Sanji Global, our location partner. Thanks to Joyce Lab Wigs and Beauty Avenue for my beautiful makeup, and my outfit by Leonards Unisex Boutique at Circle. And my wig was sponsored by Samuel Wigs and Makeup. My guest for today is a very seasoned entrepreneur with over 18 years of experience in the leadership space. She is a co-founder, managing director, and board member of Global Sky Limited, Ghana's leading integrated security company since 2011. With rich background working with Fortune 500 companies in the US, she holds certifications in security terrorism, information security, and fire guns training. Beyond her wonderful organization, she is also a pivotal figure in the supply chain and real estate businesses in Ghana. She's also a respected member of the International Trade Council. My guest for today is in the name Madam Mavis A. Leonards, and she is also called Baroness. We are going to find out more about that pretty quickly. Madam Mavis, you're very much welcome, and thank you so much for making it today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we would love to know what's the meaning of Baroness and why you called Baroness?
All right, thank you so much. The wellness conferment was conferred on me by the business executive group.
Wow.
And that was, I think, this year, beginning of this year. And it's as to the work that I've done over the years and being in the security space, spanning across different sectors. And a woman being in security and doing what I do, they thought it wise that they should confer that title on me. And so I'm humbled and honored for that title. Yes.
That's an inspiration. And there's this tag about women in leadership, being bossy, and now with this wonderful name, what's the reaction of people towards you?
I think I'm so me. It's not about the title, it's about what you do and the impact that you bring into the space of the industry that you find yourself in, and then everybody else around you. I don't move with titles. I want people to know me and speak about me with the work that I do. And so I'm so humbled, yes. You should see my team. Sometimes they don't know as to what to call. They'll say Baroness, they'll say CE, and they come up with so many names, but at the end of the day, it's just getting the work done.
Oh, I must say that before I met you in person, I mean, reading all the wonderful profiles on the internet, I was like, am I going to meet an iron lady today? And I met you and you're all smiles and the air around you is so welcoming. And I must say that you're a very wonderful person.
Thank you.
So what informed your decision to be in this male-dominated space?
All right, so over the years, actually, let me just take you down a little bit in memory lane. So growing up, I think I've always had that kind in me, especially when you talk about entrepreneurship. But all I wanted to be was to be the nice, cute PA for a very big boss, you know? And so that's what I was aspiring to be. But as you grow, things change. You change your mind and certain perspective and all of that. And so when I finished, I think uni, had the opportunity to travel to the States. And over there, still continue my education whilst working as well. And I remember I work with different organizations, which I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yes.
I remember I read about an article, okay? My thing was always to come back home and give back to my community. And stands on this article about, we know, and even till today, if you compare us to the Western world, when it comes to security, I think we're still far behind.
Exactly.
And so that is something that I wanted to do. And the article that I found about somebody being able to have enough, you know, cater for their family, and then you just be in your space, minding your own business, and somebody thinking that they have the right to actually just barge into your home and steal from you.
Exactly.
And you know, those times we have this watchman that they only have like a wood or something,
yes,
to just
they
drive
sleep.
away. Exactly, and they sleep throughout. Yes, you're right. And so I thought about it and said, why don't I do other courses in this? Because saving lives, you know, and protecting properties is one of the things that I look forward to most. And so why don't I do this? And hence, that is where we are.
Whoa. I want to go into something you said, which is really true. Like, if you compare the Western world and here, we're still lacking behind in terms of security.
Yes.
What was the work coming like when you started out here in Ghana?
People ask me, I had friends ask, why do you want to do this watchman job? That is what they would say. And it was difficult, especially it being in a male-dominated industry. You walk in and people will ask you, are you sitting in for your boss? Because you're a female walking into the space of that. And most of the time I have to actually just say, no, I am the boss.
Whoa.
And they will look at you, you're a female. I mean, I always say, women, we can do more than what a man does. And I know sometimes they don't agree with me on that. But it was a little bit difficult. And so you have to know your stuff. You have to actually be able to speak to it. I always tell people, it is not being able to sit at the table, but being able to eat from that table, because they can offer you a seat, but they can also decide to deny you to eat from there.
Exactly.
And so you have to always be a step ahead when you are in this industry to ensure that men will respect you, that you can also bring something to the table.
You're very right about that. And most of the time we find we the women calling for equity in this space.
Yes.
How did you get yourself prepared so that when the opportunity came, like you said, you can bring something to the table?
Okay, so what I did differently was, and by the grace of God, I was actually in the States, and so it's okay. Why don't I do more than just doing the normal? Okay, just having a certification and being part of the security industry, but then going above that. And so I was privileged to actually have the Bureau of National Investigative team being able to train me in the States, and then also went further to actually have some certification in terrorism, certification in ammunition and all of that. And so I wanted to set myself apart from the normal that people do, so that it will not be, oh, you just know how to maybe just install ICT products, like in terms of surveillance or when it comes to personal guarding. And so that is something that I wanted to do for me. I always wanted to be like 3 steps ahead from the normal, so that at the end of the day you are counted.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you had a vision to provide security and protect lives.
Yes.
The world is growing. Technology is advancing.
Right.
How important is integration of security, especially cyber, in this growing era?
It is very, very crucial, the era that we are in. And then when you take Global Sky, for instance, this year, what we actually wanted to do was to go more into cybersecurity, AI, and robotics. We're still waiting on some specific documentation or certifications from some of the industries. I mean, you don't want to put your foot in there and then you are being called that you are not, you don't have the license to do all of that. We've had the first license, but we want to be accredited. And so that is what we are waiting for. But coming to your question, it is very crucial in the era that we find ourselves in right now, because people can just tap into your phone, get whatever information that they need. And even now, you will even be holding your phone and someone can still have access to it. It all comes down to this cyber security. Because now, because of the technology, I think we have become a little bit careless. That is what I would say. Leaving things on social media and all of that. Leave our phones without password, give it anywhere and all of that. People get hold of it and then they have your information in their palm and then use it for whatever that it is. So my question always is, why do people want to live their life on social media? Because a lot of informations are being picked from there. And then most of the time it's not to your favor.
I'm here at the mall.
Yes.
And the picture is there.
And the picture is there. And it's not to your benefit, but sometimes it's to the benefits of the hiring manager. So that is what we have to pay attention to, especially what you put out there and then what you do with your gadgets, especially the cell phones that we have. Because it's not every app that you want to be able to download in. Because some of them, when you do download, they take some of your information and then only God knows where it goes.
Just a little bit of advice for us before we continue. How do we protect ourselves? Like, so it's getting so serious to the extent. Sometimes, like, you're just talking about something. The next thing you open your phone,
it's there.
And it's there.
Yes.
I'm asking, is there a speaker, external speaker somewhere?
No.
How is it happening? How do we protect ourselves?
So, as you pick your phone, you're on maybe Instagram, or you go on X or on TikTok, and then you click on a video, all right? And then you watch the video several times. So they actually be able to tap that because this is your interest. So if that becomes your interest, you realize that anytime that you pick your phone, they're sending you more of those.
Exactly.
So then it becomes like something that you've been tagged with. And so in your comfort of your home, if you say something or because you have that, in there, and don't forget that it's been linked. Most of these apps are linked to other apps, and so as you are on there thinking about something, or because you have research on this, when you open your phone, it brings you something similar, and then you are like, oh, I was thinking about this. No, it's because you have been doing it, and then now that has become your interest, and so they just helping you to make it easier than you going round and round. But now you can just a clip, and then hey, yeah, that's the information you are looking for.
So how do we protect ourselves?
The era that we are going with AI in place, that I mean, right now somebody can just clone you AI form, and then just be talking just as you're asking me these questions, but then it probably will not be you talking, because that is where we are. Technology, this is the space that we are in now.
So we have to embrace ourselves.
We have to embrace ourselves for it, and I can tell you it's getting interesting, because even now in the States, and I'm sure in some of the Western countries as well, you can walk into some of the shops and there will be no one there to assist you. So it's a matter of just scanning your bank card, scan your palm, and then the door open for you.
Whoa.
You go in there, you pick whatever you need. As you're picking, because you've scanned your debit card, or let's say your bank card, and then you've scanned also your palm or your thumb. So it's connected to it. So as you are done, it will just deduct from your account, and then you just go.
Wow.
And Amazon is actually doing that.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, we are in the technology world. Yes, cashless. Cashless, humanless. So now, cashless, humanless, all of that. And even now, the bank card that we use, most of them are touchless. You just scan it, swipe. And then now you don't even swipe.
Whoa.
Yes, you just scan, and then you are good to go.
Wow.
Yes. So we should embrace it.
In fact, it's really getting interesting, and I really want to go into it because entrepreneurs are springing up everywhere. We are either buying or selling, and most of the time, I'm sure we are not privy to the security risks we put ourselves into per the various transactions that we go through. What advice will you give to aspiring or even entrepreneurs watching you with regards to security of information, and every other thing that has to do with business success? How do we inculcate security to ensure success in entrepreneurship?
Security is crucial in everything that we do. I would say that because at the end of the day, you are sharing information, and you have to be security conscious when you are in the space. Now it doesn't even matter from the kids all the way to everybody else that is into the space of entrepreneurship or any business at all. You have to ensure that you are actually protected with whether any firewalls or whatsoever, passwords and all of that. And sometimes, interestingly, we have somebody can have one password on all of everything that they have. It's something that is not a good thing. You should be able to have different passwords, and some of the phones, if you take Apple, for instance, iPhones, when you actually key in a password, it stores it. So there is a place that you click on, and all the passwords that you have stored in connection to everywhere or every app that you have opened will be able to access it from there. So that's why I said it's crazy when somebody get hold of your phone, that they have your entire life in front of them. And so my brother did something in my office some time back. I wanted to download something for him, and I needed his password. And he said, okay, key in E, and I did, then A. And then we're just going in numbers, figures, symbols. It was more than 32. And I looked at him, I got like, wow, like I'm into security, but this, you have gone
super
over
strong.
me. Yes, super strong. And so, most of the time they give you the option of either you are creating your own, or the ones that the system actually creates for you. Most of the time what the system creates for you is the best. But if you don't want to use that, then you need to be able to combine the numbers and the symbols and the letters to be able to have a strong password, and then being able to also go further to do the second authentication, which people normally don't want to do. But it's very crucial that you do that, because when you actually able to do the second authentication, normally if somebody even have your password and go into it, they need your approval when the code is sent to be able to, and it gets sent to your email or something. So if the person doesn't have access to that, then they are stuck. And so what I would say is that anytime that you actually going into anything, security should be number one, that you actually pay attention to it to ensure that you are being protected 110%.
Security should be involved in everything we do. We'll be going for a quick break. We'll come back. I would love to know, because recently at the 8th Corporate Ghana Hall of Fame Award, you made mention and you really stressed on the importance of improving working conditions and stronger clients' trust. I would love for us to go through, because you said it is key in the private sector. We're going for a quick break. Please don't go anywhere. This show is brought to us by Alpha Park Natural Mineral Water and Sanji Global, our location partner. Thanks to Joyce Love Wigs and Beauty Avenue for my beautiful makeup, and my outfit is by Leonards Unisex Boutique. We'll be right back.
Get inspired daily as Lady Counselor Mavis A takes us through life-changing quotes from God's servant, Pastor Ajimine Elvis. This will set your life on course every day.
The question is, will you as a husband beat yourself? Will you abuse yourself? Will you hurt yourself? Why will you do that to your wife? You can be in a relationship and you will still feel lonely. This can cause you to have many best friends, many besties around you, thinking they can be the answer to your loneliness. What you fear will rule over you and probably destroy you, even if God has said otherwise. In fact, the person who will annoy you the most is the one you love. Those that wish you dead, destroyed, unemployed, bitter, abnormal, poor, unmarried, they will see you better, blessed and flourishing in Jesus' name.
Experience the Word of God concerning your marriage, destiny, and your daily life in an exciting and interactive session with Lady Counselor Mavis A on Daily Capsule.
Let me tell you, we will last. Yeah. We will last. Hey! We will last. No. We will last. Those who know me from years now know that I've not changed my person. Yes, sir. I've not changed who I am. No, sir. So if I've not changed anything in that field, I won't change anything for tomorrow. Yes. I'll continue like this. Speaking this over you from the depth of my heart. You will go back and manifest mighty. You are moving to the knowing realm. I said you are moving to the knowing realm.
You are welcome back from that quick break. You are still here on the Entrepreneur Show, and today we are honored to have Madam Mavis Leonards, the co-founder and managing director of Global Sky Limited, talking about security, which is very key according to our guest for today. Please let's dive more into the story. So, Mom Mavis, you talked about, you really stressed on creating good working environment or conditions for workers, and then also having strong trust from clients, which is key to the private sector. Yes. I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs are watching, and most of the time they complain about, okay, we just started and we don't really have that much to pay, you know, our staffs that well. Is it only about, when you talk about good working conditions, what goes into it? What goes into clients' trust?
Okay. All right, thank you. So good working condition is not for you to actually have millions to be able to provide that. It's just the employee being able to come to work, feel comfortable, have the necessary tools to be able to do their work. Because I can tell you that sometimes it becomes a little bit tedious, even finding the right people to be able to work, which I'm sure we'll delve into that, because that has been a challenge for most entrepreneurs, which I'm very sure everybody has that. But providing something, a serene atmosphere, atmosphere that is not too coerced, but an employee will be able to walk in and then feel that they are at work, to be able to get the work done. And so that's the basics that you're supposed to actually have. And then gaining the trust of your client. We have something that we do that you call the clients every other week to actually ensure that the client is okay, the products that we provided for them, they love it, it's good. The guys that are on site, they are behaving, because I have this mantra: if you misbehave at a client site, they should just sack you. If you steal from the client, I will take you to the police. And so having these things there, it makes the client more relaxed and being able to trust that the two of you can have that relationship. And so based on that, Global Sky diverted to something more interesting called Genesis platform. Yes, which deals more with digital referencing.
Tell us more about that.
So we have it in 4 parts. So we have the student section, then we have the B2B, then we have the landlords and tenant, then we have the employer section. Yes. we did that because over the years we've been into security. We realized that doing that reference and normal, you know, sometimes the people that you hire, when you finish hiring them is when you realize they are the wrong fit.
Exactly.
Or even the CV they have brought you, since Google can give you anything, and now it's GP tags, right?
Yes.
So since they can just download anything from there, they just Google whatever and then present it to you, presenting themselves, but in somebody's own. So we actually did a lot of studies and then realized that this is something that a lot of businesses are facing, not having the right people, because people, it's a challenge in Ghana. I can tell you that.
I'm actually coming back.
Yes, it's a huge challenge. And so we have designed this platform to actually help other industries, all industries actually. And we have something on the platform called the RIP file. So it's something that we've opened for everybody in Ghana has a RIP file. But it's empty until you register on our platform, and then it becomes something that you have to build on. So it stands for referencing on identity, businesses, and employment. And so, for instance, if an employer wants to hire somebody, then they can come onto our platform, providing us with the required information that the platform is requesting. We'll be able to verify and validate whether the person that you are hiring truly, whatever that they brought is credible for you to be able to hire the person.
So like a profile building
Yes, a profile building platform. And so whilst you have the person in your space and we have done all that verification for you, then you know that you are good to go. Because we will go through all the length and breadth that you will need. Because most of the time somebody will key in that probably I was a front manager, and then you will go in and they were receptionists. You know how we throw around with these positions and all of that. And so most of the time that is what you realized. And so that's what we decided to create this platform. It's been there for a year. We actually launched it last year, October at La Palm. And then we have the B2B, because there are times that you go into partnership with businesses, and then before you know it, there's a whole line of stories after you have giving in your bet.
I think the banks are good with that. Before they do any transaction with you, they'll do
your checks. Yes.
The other organizations.
Exactly. So now we have designed some for the other organizations, and we say you can come onto our platform to be able to do this. For us to just bring all your burdens on us, let us take care of it. But we are not God anyway. So we're able to do that for you as well. And then you have landlords and tenants. You know, sometimes it says you stay in someone's house and the chaos that comes with it and all of that. And so what the platform does is that come and report that property, not the landlord. But because we don't want to do any individual taggings over there, but come and report the property.
Can also be the
exactly. So come and report the property that maybe probably is in a good place to stay or is the best place to stay. So that in that form too, you're also doing marketing for that individual as well. So it goes in different ways.
How is the embrace like?
It's good.
Right.
It's good because most HR organizations are like, thank you for doing this, because we've actually taken a lot of burden off them. Yes.
A lot, especially with entrepreneurs. I recently encountered someone who said, when I got to know that these 4 guys have stolen from me, it was too late. And sometimes it's even difficult to trace where to find them after they leave.
Exactly.
They just jolt away with your money.
Exactly.
And that is it. So this
is helping. And the people that we have most coming onto our platform as schools. Because most of the time you hire those teachers and then you probably would not know whether the person's a pedophile and all of that. And when they leave your school, they go to another school. And most what I've realized in Ghana is that we don't love referencing. You know, we just hire the person and then we are good to go. Or you call an organization and then they'll tell you, oh, the person that is in charge is not around. You do 3 times and then you are done. Then we forget about it because we need the work to be done. And so we leave it. And then you dive into artisans. I chanced on the post today that somebody says carpenters and plumbers, they need to have a debate for us to know who is the biggest liar. Yes. And,
they'll bring in the seamstress and the others.
Yes. So most of the time you have these people coming to your home, they take the money, they start the work, then they vanish. And so we are saying that there are certain key information that you're supposed to take from these people when they walk into your, what is your full name? Can I have a copy of your ID or something? So that when the person is no more, you'll be able to trace the person exactly where they are. And so these are some of the education that we're doing. And when you come onto our platform, you're able to even get more to be able to do that.
This is amazing. Thank you for this wonderful solution. Wow, this is amazing. So you've been in this business in Ghana. I want to stress on the Ghana part. Since 2011. Yes. How have you managed your team to be making the strides? I mean, I'm reading over the internet, the growth and the impact your organization is making.
So one thing that I realize in Ghana is when we are the bosses, we don't want to get involved. We want to sit in our comfort of our office and then do others
around.
Exactly. I'll tell you one story. When I was in the States, I remember one time I came to Ghana for a vacation and I was saving in one of the banks. I won't mention the bank. And I had gone there for some money and I was there for like over an hour. And I'm wondering, okay, who is supposed to serve me? And they were giving me stories because of the amount I wanted to withdraw. And so I asked for the supervisor or a manager. And so they were going to tell the manager. I waited again for over 30 minutes.
Whoa.
Then I'm like, okay, that's it. I need to go to see the manager. Where's the manager's office? And one of the ladies says, if you go into the reception, I go to the reception. I sat there for like 5-10 minutes. Whoa. They said the manager had somebody with it. At that point, I didn't have the patience anymore. So I did the not to do. I just barged into the office. And it was just him having just a chat with a friend. I mean, on the company hours.
Exactly.
So I got there and I'm like, sir, I want to withdraw my money. He said, but they say you wanted to withdraw some. I said, but at this point, waiting for almost 2 hours, I want to withdraw all. And I remember he said something that was so funny. He said, oh, they said you are the one coming from the States. You people don't have patience. And I said, no, it's not about having, it's just that you are not.
2 hours.
Exactly. I said, you are not offering customer service. And that is the problem. And so I actually closed the account down that day. Yes. And
his response was even rude.
It was even rude, yes. And so we being involved, most of the time I think we're thinking that I have hired somebody, so they should do the work and I should just cross my legs. That is not me. I'm in devotion with them. I mean, sometimes I get to the office before they do, and I'm the last person to leave the office. And then also being able to give them a lot of training and workshops. they can tell you the number of times that I will do meetings because I want us to get it right. Because getting it right is the key, and then you'll be able to get a lot of reference, and if you do get it right, than to rush into it and not get anything in return. And so that has been the reason why I have a good team. And I also do not frown on when you don't do the right thing, me talking about it. And then when you are not fitting into the space or the responsibility given to you, if it's not getting done, everybody in my team knows the woman will only give you 2 months. After that, you're out of the door.
You're out.
Yes, because we have to be able to get it done and get it right for growth and also for the satisfaction of our client.
Wow, so being involved, being firm, principled,
Yes,
is your key,
is the key
to your team success.
Yes.
Amazing. So right from the time you started, what has been your source of your source of funding? Because I know that's one of the key challenges for a lot of entrepreneurs here in Ghana.
Right.
How did you start?
So Global Sky was started with $1,500.
Whoa.
Off my credit card.
Whoa.
Yes, and traveled to Taiwan, got the civilian systems, CCTV, and then just started.
Wow.
So myself and my partner doing installation for people, and then with that we grew. Then we touched into a lot of organizations, and then now being able to even have a plant in Taiwan. And so our system, we actually do a lot of investigation, a lot of research before we actually produce. So we manufacture our own systems when it comes to Global Sky. So it's our brand, but the technology is Sony. But the brand is our own brand.
Wow.
So we do a lot of research, get into the climatic condition in Africa to be able to. I can tell you, when you walk into banks that you're looking at their screens or other institutions and you realize it's blurry, it's not picking up, it's because of the cameras. Okay, if you don't have a good resolution or the camera is not fit for purpose in terms of climatic condition, you will tend to have that. But when we do the installation for you, trust me that for like a year or two, you won't even call us for anything. We've had clients like that, and we have clients all over the 16 regions that we install some of these things for as well.
What has been that key routine or practice or principle that has helped with growth in your organization? You can touch on money-wise, on any other areas you think has been beneficial to you.
I think follow-ups.
Okay.
Yeah, most organizations lack follow-ups. And when you don't do follow-ups and going back, whether you have to go back 10 times, my team will tell you, if I say, we need to get the hold of this person, you can't come back to me and say, the person did not pick the call. What about testing? You know, you can test, you can WhatsApp, you can do all of that. We need the information.
After the call doesn't go through,
they are done. No, they already know. So you have to be able to be the follow-up is key, and then money is also another key, because you have to have it to be able to push it. But what I would say is that for us, like I mentioned earlier, we started with 1,500.
How did you manage the revenue that came with, you know, to be able to grow it to this level?
Putting it back into the organization, and that is something that we don't do. I remember one of the prominent men that we had done projects for, we were doing a project for him, and he ate into the night. And I remember I was pregnant at that time. I was like 5 months pregnant, and I was still on site with a team that were doing the installation together with my partner, and it was around, he came there around midnight, and I was still there. He got there, he's like, you are here? I said, but you guys are the bosses. What are you doing here? Like making sure the work is done, you know? And then he left around 2:30. When he was leaving, I was still there. Then he said, you have to go home. And I said, no, I'm okay. And so being able to, like I mentioned earlier, being involved, and then when you get the money, that is not the money for you to use to go and buy a car. It's the money for you to put it back into the organization, and that is something that we lack. We actually normally think that, oh, I am my own boss, so the money that is coming in, I just spend it anyhow. No, it doesn't belong to you. You have to be able to put it back into the organization to grow your organization for it to scale up, and that is what we do.
How has your previous work experience with other organizations, I mean, before you started your own, and then the fact that you've had a taste of Western life impacted the success of your journey?
I always say that, and not to say it in a bad way, but my wish is for everybody to have the experience to travel and then be able to acquire certain things. Because there are times that I sit down and ask myself, wow, would I have been behaving this way or something? And those things have helped me. For me, unfortunately, right after uni is when I left. And so I did not have a chance to work with any organization here. So my team, I always tell them what I learned over there is what I'm imparting over here. And over there, every stone needs to be unturned. And every T crossed, every I dotted. And that is a training that I was given, that you start something, you finish it. You don't have excuses, and here excuses as the thing. Like I could come and tell her that somebody's father can die like 3 times in a year, like, you know. and sometimes you are wondering, like, whoa. I always tell them, God gave me a big head for something. Whatever you say, actually sticks there. So I actually remember you were saying that your father died some time ago. So that was my uncle, and it could be like my uncle. Yes.
It's my dad. We refer to them as dad.
As that, yes. And then the fact that for me, if you walk in 5 minutes late, I'll frown on it. I'll talk about it because I don't want to wait for it to turn into 10 to 15, and then I have an hour. And so they know that sometimes I know, like, they're like, even my PA will tell you, there are times that she won't even walk into my office because she knows that I will say something. And so, but then it has built them. You send them outside, they come back, say, wow, the company we went to, they said they want to hire me. I'm like, you? We've not even started. I mean, but it gives you some fulfillment, knowing that you're making impact, and that is something that I'm grateful to God for.
Have you always desired to be an entrepreneur growing up?
I had that in me. I would sit with my grandmom at her shop, and then when anybody wants to buy something, I mean, you see me tiny, I would just get a thing done for them. And if I have to go to school in the afternoon, you see me, I'll just cook rice, put it in front of our house.
Whoa.
Yes, start to sell. But it didn't even click because remember, all I wanted to be was this cute PA
for a big boss.
Yes, so that one did not click, but I thought probably it was just a passion. And then as I grew, it became something that, why not? And then when I walk into Global Sky, it's not just Global Sky. I run series of other organizations as well, consultancy firms and all of that. And so I easily got bored. I even till today still think I'm not doing enough.
Wow.
And also I run a foundation that takes headquarters, Kayayes off the street and put them back into school. So 2 years ago, 20 girls graduated from GH Media Schools. Yes, and then now some of them work with Joy Prime, some are fashion designers, some are journalists, and it gives me that pride and then great joy, because I always say being successful is not about having money and then fleets of cars, but the impact that you make in society.
What has been that experience that made you go like, should I go back to those prominent Fortune 500 companies and leave this entrepreneurial thing? It's not for me anymore.
It's when sometimes, sometimes employees will push you up there, and then sometimes I'm like, I always say to myself, I protect the responsibility given to me. For me, you hear my employees will tell you that we are all employees. It's just we have different responsibilities, and my responsibility is to direct the affairs of the company in the vision that we are looking at. And so I hold everybody to their responsibility. Managers walk into boardrooms with your offer letters with your responsibility. I'm going through with you, like, which one have you checked? Which one haven't you checked? And then whys and nots and all of that. And then we go through. If you are not doing it, then why you occupy that space? Then you are out for me to find the right fit to be able to do that. And so what I would say over there is being able to always get it right. Yeah, and yeah.
Is it something you would have changed if you have the opportunity to turn the hand of clock from the time you started?
Yes, I think and I know my family members, when they listen to this, will just kill me. But it's an advice to all entrepreneurs. You know, sometimes people will say cheap labor. And so, oh, just gather your family members and then hire them. It's always the wrong move.
Okay.
Hiring family members to actually do a job. Because then something happens and they go and call dad and uncles and all your cousins comes in and there's nothing. Yeah, but me, I'm not able to do that. They know me. My family members will tell you that it doesn't click. If I have to suspend you, I'll suspend you. It's regardless. I don't know how to pick and choose when it comes to running of organizations.
And here you have ripple effects in the family relations. Once you begin to be strong like this.
I think with time they get used to it. Yeah. I remember a funny story. So we provided security services and then my parents' house. And the security guards we put there, you get there and they've probably sent the security guards to go and get gas, you know. Go and get this. So I kept like, Mom, you guys cannot do that. I mean, he's there to actually protect you, you know, so you should not be doing that. So one day when I went there, they had done that. And I said, I'm pulling the guards. And they're like, you can't. I said, no, I am.
I will.
and I pulled the guards.
Whoa.
Yes. Because that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be an entrepreneur and going to be a leader, and I think the rules should be laid down for all and not to pick and choose. Because if you do that, then you are not even being truthful to yourself in terms of the industry that you find yourself in. But I found them another option, which that one, the person sit there, they were not able to, so they are good, yes. So they are good. But that is one thing. So I've had higher family members, and it didn't go well. I have a chat with them. This is not working. And so I find something else for you.
Exactly.
And so that is one thing that I would say that people should not do if you're running your own business. As much as you see it as a cheap labor, it's still not cheap. At the end of the day, it will cost you more.
Cost you more.
Yes.
What is that moment that made you go like, yeah, I chose the right path. Entrepreneurship is for me? I think
always, though. Always. Even though it comes with a lot of stress, you know, I wear so many hats. I run more than 4 companies. And so in a day, running through it and then also being able to add being a wife and being a mother and being a deaconess as well. And all of that, being able to combine all of it and being a daughter to my parents, you know, you just create a balance.
Okay.
Yes. For me, timing. I'm the type, my team will tell you that there are times that you will get a text at 1 a.m. from me, because as soon as I get up and I have to send the text. So I always tell them, please tell your spouses, I mean, you know, no, yes, but I need to make sure that it's being sent. But I'm the type, I love to write things down a lot, and then being able to have my to-do checklist and then check them off. And if I don't finish my work in a day, I don't go home.
Wow.
Yes.
What has been that thing that brought you fulfillment that you were like, wow? The
customer being happy.
Okay.
And then the girls that we pick from the street, seeing them graduate. And if they stand here right now and I tell you, these were the girls that were on the street, you would tell me no. Wow. Because now some of them are even dating some prominent people. One is married to a military man and all of that. And I said to myself, did they see these girls while they were on the street? And sometimes I think we assume wrong that these girls on the streets, they just want to be on the streets. I can tell you that's not what they want to do. They are so brilliant. I mean, most of them were receiving these awards during their graduation, and it was just fulfilling. And so just imparting people, it is something that I love to do. And I work with a lot of organizations to impart the girl child and then people as a whole, from educational sectors to everywhere. I think last the last time I think I was talking to you about something that we wanted to shoot earlier, and I said I have another thing to do, and I think last week I was at Methodist University and all of that. So it's a call, and my mom is still, because she's actually a teacher. Wow. She taught for over 40 years, and so she keeps saying, you kept saying you don't want to be a teacher, but I see you doing all of that, and then I also lecture at one of the business schools in Morocco. Whoa. So I'm an adjunct lecturer for University of Rabat Business School in Morocco as well. So I try to combine all of that, and it's fulfilling, you know, and I think I have to continue to do more.
Well done. So my last words for you, what is the future of Global Sky, and what will be your last words to aspiring entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs alike watching you today?
The future for Global Sky is AI and robotics, and cybersecurity, and that is something that we have started, and the Security referencing platform is all into the huge technology firm being innovation. Let me put it that way.
Are you going to bring it down to making people entrepreneurs in that space, or serving only the corporate organizations?
No, making people entrepreneurs, because we also do capacity building as well. So being able to pull more people into that, because women, especially women, we have to be pulled more into that as well. And then my last words to entrepreneurs out there is keep pushing. You will get it. If I've been able to do it, trust me, you'll be able to do it. Because if we had started with where I'm coming from, you'll be amazed that I sit here today. And so
I think I'll be doing my viewers a disservice. Can you just sum it up?
So I always tell my team, like, I sit there sometimes and I always say, wow, the girl that was selling cassava, plantain. I used to go to the farm with my dad and all of that. I come from an average home. My dad was a farmer / a business man, but his good friend duped him with his money. And so he had to stick to the farming part. And my mom was a teacher, and being able to go to the farm with my dad every time. And then sometimes you bring the things home and it's too much for you to keep, and so you have to sell some. And at that time, I think in JHS or something, or primary or something, and I was a school prefect, and I actually did not care. So I would take the cassava and the plantain. My mom had a friend in the market. I'll just go to her. She showed me how to arrange them, and I'll sell it. I love to sell, you know. And so I think they were all part of the entrepreneurial passion that I had. And then, but I had one thing in me, that this was not permanent. Yes, something in me kept saying it's not permanent. So, and then being prayerful. If you ask anything of my family, so we are 4 girls and then a boy. I'm the last girl. So I have 3 big sisters ahead of me, and by the grace of God, everybody is somewhere. They are not here. They span across UK and then the US, and very high positions across that. And then my brother, he's here. He's in the political space, and so and then here am I doing what I love best and all of that. So I'm grateful to God.
Touching on God, yes. Most times we depend solely on our experiences and probably the networks we have. Can you give a quick advice on the role of God in this entrepreneurial journey?
It is God that makes us rich. It is God that makes everything come to be. So for me, if it hadn't been God, for me, I would not be here. So it has been Him throughout. And one thing that anybody can tell you, and I tell my team, is that I don't own Global Sky. It's God that owns it, and I'm an employee, and I have a responsibility. So if you work for Global Sky, you're working for Him. And so you don't look at me and work for me, you work for Him. And then I push my team to pay their tithe. Yeah, at a point I was looking at, I'll tell you, bring your receipt, I want to see it. Because the company pays tithe. I pay tithe. The company pays tithe. And I want you, if you're going to be sit on my board as a manager, you need to pay tithe. Because the company belongs to Him.
Madam Mavis, you're such an inspiration. I now understand the air around you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for making time, especially today. You and I understand that. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I mean, your story is very inspiring. I know there's more to take from you, but this is what time will allow us. And so if someone wants to reach you, how do they reach you?
All right, so my LinkedIn is Mavis Leonards. On LinkedIn, Facebook is also Mavis Leonards. Okay. Or you can actually send an email to mavis@globalskyafrica.com or mavis@Genesis. The Genesis is spelled GENESCIS.com. So these are my handles. And then for you to reach us is 0302 522 503 0302 522 503, and then my team will be there to help you. Or you can also log on to www.genesis.com and then be able to learn a little bit more about what we do.
Oh, and for all your security needs, I know by now you know the name. It's Global Sky Limited. Look no further. Thank you. If God permits, as He has permitted today, I would love to have you on the show again to pour yourself out there for a fellow entrepreneur, and most especially women out there, because when we see people like you in this space, it's enough inspiration to keep fighting that yes, we can also make it. Thank you for sharing your inspirational story and your experiences with us. And we know that our guests out there, I know that you've picked a thing or two, and what our advice is like Madam Mavis rightly said, don't sit on it, keep pushing, you will get there. Don't change your dial, keep it right here till we come your way again. This has been The Entrepreneur. I am Esther Edichumwa, your host, and this show was proudly brought to you by Alpha Park Natural Mineral Water and Sanji Global, our location partner. Thanks to Joyce Love Wigs and Beauty Avenue for my beautiful makeup. My wig was provided by Samuel Wigs and Makeup, and my beautiful outfit was by Leonards Unisex Boutique at Circle. Till I come your way again, keep pushing.